What's up, everybody? I'm here to do a reaction video and share my thoughts on last Wednesday mass shooting at Marjory Douglas High School in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Documents reveal that 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz confessed to police that he was the gunman who shot up Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School here, killing 17 people. And now questions are swirling about whether warning signs were missed. And as we learn new details about the timeline, we're also hearing from one student who says he came face to face with Cruz just moments before the massacre. The gunfire lasted less than 10 minutes, but this morning new details are emerging of how the terrifying rampage unfolded. One student saying he encountered the shooter loading up his weapon just before the attack began.
He said, "You better get out of here. Things are going to get messy."
Authorities.
You telling me he came face to face? Another student came face to face with the shooter, loading his gun, putting more ammunition in his gun, and then take advantage of that situation? That's crazy. But young people these days, why? Hey, I think if I was in that situation, me and that killer would have had a fight on our hands. But look here, that gun would have got loaded. He would have got more shots off. I mean, that's just me. He would have got more shots off. But hey.
A 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz was heavily armed with a bulletproof vest, loads of ammunition, and a powerful AR-15 bought legally a year ago and hidden in a rifle case. Investigators say at
19 years old, 19-year-old killed 17 people. 17 people. 17 people. Killing somebody at 19 wasn't even on my mind in 99. I was 19 in 99. Killing somebody wasn't even on my mind. Wasn't on my mind. Wasn't even on my mind to kill somebody at 19 years old. This man was 19 years old. Don't throw his whole life away to kill 17 people.
2:06 p.m. Wednesday, an Uber car picked him up, dropping him off at the school at 2:19.
He took a Uber. From one place to the school that he was expelled from with a rifle case. And the Uber driver didn't think nothing of it. The Uber driver didn't think, let me report this to the authorities or something. Somebody getting in your car with a rifle case, headed to a high school. With a rifle case and young. Regardless of young or not, just the fact that a Uber driver came to pick him up, seen the rifle case as he was headed to his car, let him get in the car, drove him to his destination, which was the high school, watch him get out his car with a rifle case and didn't think nothing of it. And y'all know the only way to book an Uber is through a mobile app. And you telling me people taking them kind of chances to pick people up and not observing what they putting in their car? That's crazy to me. I find that suspect, but that's just me. I find it suspect.
21, the suspect enters the east stairwell of one of the buildings. Then, seconds later, begins shooting at several classrooms before heading to the second and third floors.
At around 2:30, we heard a gunshot.
At first, senior David Huff.
And you telling me, let's look at one fact here that haven't got released. I don't know if it's going to get released in this story, in one of these two videos that I'm doing a reaction video or saying my thoughts on, but I read an article yesterday that said that this particular Marjory, let me get the name right, Marjory Douglas High School is a school where all the children live in $500,000 homes. That means that's a school with nothing but successful parents, nothing but students that come from a rich background, live in a six-figure home, a $500,000 home. And you telling me this school have no security, where nobody can walk on campus any time of day? Somebody can walk on campus and do what the hell they want at a school like that, where the students' parents made $500,000 homes, where the students live in $500,000 homes. Anybody can just walk on campus anytime they want and do whatever they want. Because of this situation, that situation gonna change a lot. These schools gonna get heavy security. I guarantee you, with something like that going on, that's gonna raise a lot of heads right there. Whoa, somebody walked into a school unnoticed by nobody other than the Uber driver, was able to go into a classroom, load up, assemble his rifle, load it up, and just start killing people. Just walk on campus. That's crazy. I find that very crazy. I find that very crazy.
Thought it was a drill, similar to one earlier in the day.
We walk outside with the fire alarm to our evacuation zone, and on the way there's just a flood of people coming in the opposite direction. And they're saying, go back, he's coming this way, he's coming this way.
Trapped with dozens of his terrified classmates, he took this cell phone video of the panicked moments when they didn't know where the gunman was. At 2:27, investigators say the gunman drops the rifle and backpack and runs down the stairs where he blends in with other students.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So where was the school security at this time? I know every school got some kind of security on the property, on grounds. He had enough time to ditch the rifle, take out the bulletproof vest and everything else that he had on, and blend in with other students, and get away. That's how he was able to get off property, because he took the time to blend in, walk out like a suspect. Walk out like an innocent student with his hands above his head, where they couldn't identify him. That is crazy. That is crazy.
At 2:50, he makes it to Walmart, where he buys a drink at the Subway restaurant inside.
You just killed 17 innocent people, and you go to Walmart and go to a Subway to have you a drink. That's crazy. It's crazy that he made it that far off campus. Like you telling me none of them students around him said, there you go right there? He made it down the street. He made it to Walmart. Don't know how far Walmart is away. Hold on. Let me look at the time frame, how far that was away. Okay. He drops the backpack
and runs down the stairs where he blends in with other. At 2:27, investigators say the gunman drops the rifle and backpack and runs down the stairs where
2:27 p.m. He drops the backpack, run down the stairs to blend in with other students. Let's see how long from 2:27 it took him to get to Walmart.
Blends in with other students. At 2:50, he makes it to Walmart where he buys a drink.
2:50 he made it to Walmart. That's what? 37:47. 23 minutes later he made it to Walmart. So that tell you that's a good distance he done traveled in 23 minutes. And none of the students that he blended in with recognize him. That's real crazy. I'm pretty sure somebody in the crowd or line of students that he walking out with their hands up interlocked behind their head, I'm pretty sure somebody recognized him, and nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. That's crazy to me.
At the Subway restaurant inside. At 3:01, he briefly sits down at a nearby McDonald's before
3:01, he had time to sit down at McDonald's. So I guess this is where Riyadh is sitting, like he probably shot them what he done did. I don't know. It's crazy how far this man made it. He probably could have left the state if he don't made it this far.
Walking out. 40 minutes later, police arrest him without incident.
We will continue to gather all information.
40 minutes later, they arrest him. It took them 40 minutes to catch up with this guy, to catch up with this young man. To me, that's crazy. I'm sorry, that's crazy. It should have been a whole, every helicopter in the area, every cop on the area, every law enforcement, sheriff officer should have been in that area looking for this man.
Information about the subject as we try to identify his motives.
This morning, Nicholas Cruz is being held without bail, charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder as he faced a judge.
17 counts of premeditated murder. 17 counts of premeditated murder at 19 years old. That's crazy to me, man. What is going on in this world? What is going on in this world? He ain't graduate high school, because he was expelled from this school that he did the shooting at and was attending another school, another high school at 19 years old. At 19 years old. That's crazy.
He said just 2 words.
Yes, ma'am.
His attorney offering this defense.
He's sad, he's mournful, he's remorseful. He is fully aware of what is going on. And he's just a broken human being.
But we're warning.
I don't believe none of that. I don't believe he's sad, he's remorseful. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. You killed 17 innocent people. Do that sound like to y'all to somebody that would be sad and remorseful? It don't to me. It don't to me. It do not to me. It don't sound sad or remorseful that he killed 17 people. Yeah, I understand he knew it. Well, I'm pretty sure he do know what's going on. I'm pretty sure he do. At 19 years old, you have a better understanding on life than what you think.
Missed. Back in September, Ben Benight alerted the FBI after Cruz left this chilling comment on a YouTube page. I'm going to be a Back in September, Ben Benight alerted the FBI after Cruz left this chilling comment on a YouTube page. I'm going to be a professional school shooter.
Felt that it was important to get it to the proper authorities so they could do an investigation.
The FBI says agents tried to track down the person who posted the comment, but hit a brick wall.
Let's process that right there. Back in September, October, November, December, January, February, 5 months ago, he made a YouTube post saying he gonna be a professional school killer. FBI tried to track that post down. FBI tried to track that post down, hit a brick wall. Is that even possible for the FBI to hit a brick wall? Come on now, how hard is it to track a post on YouTube? I understand people make fake Gmails and all that, but FBI is supposed to be top of the line security investigating people, and you telling me they hit a brick wall where they couldn't find out where that post came from? That's crazy. I find that to be real crazy, man. I find that to be very crazy there.
Cruz had no criminal history, but students and neighbors say he had a very troubled past. His mother had died in November, and he is now being held without bail in an isolated cell on suicide watch. Voted to that.
Gabe Gutierrez starting us off this morning. Gabe, thank you.
17 people killed in a mass shooting at a Florida high school. Say people, most of them kids, high school kids. We're learning more tonight about the 19-year-old.
17 killed, and majority of them was high school kids. And I watched a lot of the videos on YouTube and the article on Facebook. A lot of them kids had a bright future ahead of them, soccer players and everything. A lot of them kids had a bright future ahead of them, and now all that's gone from a senseless act as this right here. Now that bright future is gone. Them kids was robbed of their life, robbed of their future. That's sad, man. That's just sad to me.
Suspects' weapons and about clues from his social media. CNN Crime and Justice reporter Shimon Prokopez joins me now with more. Hey, Shimon, thank you so much for joining us. Sure. Breaking news tonight is about what happened. I understand you have some new news tonight on the shooter's background check. What can you tell us?
That's right. A lot of questions throughout the day about this weapon, the AR-15 style rifle that he used in the shooting. We're now learning from U.S. officials who've been briefed on this investigation that the shooter purchased the firearm. They now have information. The ATF has been tracing this firearm, and what we're being told by U.S. officials is that he purchased this himself. He went into a gun store and was able to purchase this AR-15 on his own. We believe that it was done in the past year, and key here is that he passed the background check. Now, Don, what's interesting here is because he's 19, and so if he purchased this a year ago, let's say he was 18, that's perfectly legal. You can purchase this style of weapon at a firearms store at his age. What you can't purchase is a handgun, because you have to be 21 to purchase a handgun. So it's kind of an interesting piece of detail here that there is nothing essentially preventing him from purchasing this weapon.
See, you have to be 21 to purchase a handgun, but only 18 for an assault-style weapon.
That's the federal law. Essentially, there was nothing preventing him, not his age, nothing in his background, from purchasing this.
That makes absolutely no sense. Do we know anything about search warrants? Shimon,
Yeah.
I'm hearing there's new information about that.
Yeah, so the local police there are...
I find that crazy too. Somebody fresh out of high school at 18 years old can purchase a assault rifle at 18 years old, but you have to be 21 to buy a handgun. They found nothing. They talking like they don't even know when he really bought the gun, but all that should be in the paperwork when he purchased the gun. The background check. When did the background check first go through? They saying they thinking a year ago. Y'all should know all this. Florida, not just Florida, but America really need to change the gun laws, the gun requirements. They really need to change it because this is getting too out of hand. This is getting too out of hand. Somebody at 18 purchased an assault rifle to commit a murder, like to commit a mass shooting like this a year later. Only had the gun a year. That's crazy. That is real crazy.
With the FBI and the ATF all working together here, we know of at least 2 search warrants that are being executed. That are police and the FBI and ATF are in the process. One of them, we believe, is his home, and then there's another location. We're not sure what the other location is, but at this point, it's usually expected in these types of situations. They go to the homes, they grab the computers, whatever else, to look at, just sort of get a sense of what he was doing at home, his computers, go through his computers. So what you would normally see in these types of situations is going on right now, and this is going to be work that's going to go on through the night, and then tomorrow morning he's supposed to be in court. So police will certainly learn a lot about him through the night.
Okay, so he's supposed to be in court in the morning, and then talk to me more about some information on his social media posts again, Shimon.
Yeah, so these are some of his Instagram posts, and we heard the sheriff there all day in his press conference raise issues with the social media, his background, their background check of him, and what they were able to find was really disturbing items on his social media pages. The items about guns, different things he talked about, killing law enforcement, and really concerning to them, and wondering, the police there wondering, why is it that when he expressed the words he used about killing, the pictures that he used of the weapons, why is it that no one went to police to report this? He certainly right now was not on the radar of the police, but certainly when you look at the type of items he was posting, open for anyone to see on Instagram, it raises a lot of questions for police as to why no one reported him. And the sheriff sort of stressed this tonight. He, in his last press conference of the evening, he said, this whole idea, if you see something, say something. And he kept talking about that because time and time again in these types of situations, we do hear this, where someone sees something, they just think, hey, you know what, I'm going to ignore it. It doesn't seem like a big deal. But in the end, it turns out to be a big deal. And, if you listen to the sheriff tonight, it just seemed like he was concerned that there was some missed opportunities here in trying to prevent this because no one alerted the police about him.
If you see something, say something. America don't live by that law no more. I don't understand how it sounds like they try to put the blame on his followers and people on his Instagram that didn't say nothing about all the posts he was making of guns, knives, look like grenades, masks, posts of violence, talks about violence, and all this. He making these posts on Instagram, and they feel like the public should have reported it. Shouldn't Instagram have a way to track all that the same way Facebook have a way to track everything? Good thing about how many people have been arrested from Facebook in the last year. A lot of people have been arrested for things they had done on Facebook in the last year, but yet nobody has been arrested from the things they did on Instagram. So all this is going on. When it all come down to it, Instagram gonna raise they security on Instagram. I guarantee you, Instagram gonna get more strict than what it is now. I guarantee you, things gonna get a lot more strict due to this situation right here. Instagram gonna start tracking everything. I don't understand how Google can detect everything you say and it be sent to a certain database where break down everything you say on Google or everything you type in on Google. Google can break it down and alert the authorities and alert the proper people, but Instagram can't. I find that very crazy. I find that very crazy.
Shimon, thank you very much. Getting more information, please come back and report it to us. I want to bring in now CNN contributor Wesley Lowery. He's a national reporter for the Washington Post. Chris Wecker is a former FBI assistant director of the Criminal Investigative Division. Chris, you just heard the news. To me, it floors me. And listen, I don't know everything. I sit here, I don't know everything about gun laws. I don't know everything about weapons. But what I do have is common sense. So you can get a handgun at 21 years old, right? But at 18, you can buy an assault-style weapon. You can't buy a handgun when you're 18. What is the sense? Can you please, I really want to know this, and I don't mean to be facetious about this. What is the logic behind that? How does that make sense?
I don't know the logic behind it, but actually in Florida, if you're 18, you can get either. So Florida has one of the most liberal gun laws in the country. If you look at
so that's not a federal regulation, that's by state?
Right. Correct. Now, if you look at the website of the International...
So what he's saying is that that's only in Florida where you can purchase a handgun and a rifle at 18. But all the other states, you can purchase a semi-rifle, assault rifle at 18 and a handgun at 21. That's crazy, man. That is real crazy. Whoever made these laws back in the day need to be slapped. They need their ass whooped right now. They need their ass whooped because that's crazy. Every state, but in Florida, the Sunshine State, the tourist state, you can buy any kind of firearm, whether it's a rifle or a handgun at 18 years old. But all the other states, you have to be 18 to buy a rifle, assault rifle, and 21 to buy a handgun. That is very crazy. That's very crazy to me. But this is America. That's why everybody trying to come over here from every country, because we got some crazy laws and restrictions on a lot of things.
Association of Chiefs of Police, the largest police organization in the country, the major city chiefs association, all the major law enforcement associations, they've come out against these assault weapons, especially these AR-15s, for years and years. And during the time that they were controlled or banned, violent gun crime went down 66%. So the assault weapons they're not the only issue here. There's many other issues involved, but they are one of the issues here.
Mm-hmm. So, Chris, once again, we see these images.
I still stand by what I said in the last shooting video, the Vegas shooting. All automatic weapons, assault rifles, all of that, other than handguns, other than hunting guns, need to be banned from Americans. Need to be banned from all citizens. If you're not in the military, you do not need a semi-automatic weapon. All semi-automatic weapons need to be banned from all citizens unless you're in the service. I mean, if you're not over there fighting the wars or National Guard, the Army, the Navy, or National Security, you do not need to own no kind of semi-automatic firearms. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? All that should be on issue for the Army when you going overseas to fight wars and stuff. Because why do somebody need a semi-automatic rifle or a semi-automatic handgun in America? You know what I mean? It's not needed. It's not needed. Even with hunting, you're going to aim at one target at a time. So what you need a rifle that you pull the trigger, shoot 10 bullets. Or a handgun, you pull the trigger one time, it shoot multiple bullets. There's no need for no citizen in America to have a semi-automatic weapon. They need to be banned completely from all citizens. All citizens. That's just my opinion.
Of young children running out of their school, hands above their heads, law enforcement, the swamps at a mass shooting scene, you can see them all there standing. Look at that. Look at the scene. We have seen these scenes, these images before. What will investigators be looking for at a crime scene here?
Well, there are a lot of things going on right now. The FBI's evidence response team is looking very hard at the crime scene, his movements, tracking his movements from start to finish. What's more important, though, is you talked about the sort of the early warning system, the see something, say something. This kid was flashing red. There were neon signs over his left shoulder from his social media posts. He was about to go off. And I've seen his social media posts from 2 years ago, and he's posing with weapons, he's posing with knives, he's making threats. 219 followers, that's 219 chances that someone could have picked up the phone and made a phone call. This is the most egregious example of nobody picking up the phone and making that call, whether it's a teacher, a parent, or somebody that saw his posts on the internet. But this kid was flashing red.
Yeah. We keep asking, what...
See, that's what I'm talking about. To me, it sounds like they put their blame on his followers, on citizens in America, because nobody took this chance to step forward and call authorities. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that somebody shouldn't have, but I wouldn't have, because we in a time where America has so much security where they should have been tracking all that. You know what I mean? The guy just said he seen a post that the killer made 2 years ago on Instagram. A post he made 2 years ago on Instagram. And you didn't put him on investigation right then. I wanted to report that. Did he report the post that he seen 2 years ago to get the proper authority to start investigating him and seeing what this all about? Y'all mark my word, Instagram gonna really make it tough. Instagram gonna get like Google. Watch what I tell y'all, Instagram gonna get just like Google, where everything you type gonna be sent to certain databases for people to investigate and look into and track and monitor. I bet you Instagram gonna really toughen up. Instagram gonna really toughen their security.
Or signs missed, or if there's anything you can do. I mean, we've done this with every single shooting that I've been here, and I've been sitting on this anchor desk for CNN for 12 years now, almost 13 years. Do we ever really does it ever make sense? Do we ever find out what the issue is beyond the one common denominator here, which is what? The one common denominator
is that for me,
guns.
Don?
Yeah, I'm talking. That's for you.
Yeah, I mean, there are always lessons learned. There have been many things that have changed over the years, but mainly in the area of trying to prevent these incidents from a school security standpoint, from law enforcement response aspects. I do school security assessments. I'm up on the most recent security techniques, the things that will work or have the best chance of working. It's a combination of things, Don, but I still go back to that first line of defense, which is the people that can observe the behavior of this person and know in your heart that something bad is about to happen, but you're reluctant to pick up the phone and stigmatize that person and draw law enforcement attention to them because you're afraid that maybe you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, the stigma is not whether someone has a mental issue, a mental health issue. That's not the stigma. I think the issue is allowing those people, that kind of person, to have access to a weapon, right, especially an assault-style weapon. Wes Lowry, you've been sitting by patiently here. You heard the new information. He was able to legally buy an assault-style weapon at 18. Perhaps he wouldn't have been able to do that with a handgun, but I'm hearing from Chris Wecker, at 18 you can do both in the state of Florida, legally.
Sure, and I think that each of these shootings, and Don, you've been talking about the years you've been here at CNN covering these. My entire career has been going from one of these shootings to the next of these shootings. It feels like it's one of the only constant things each year is that we're going to find ourselves here having this conversation. We were here in Vegas and in Sutherland Springs and in Charleston, right? And then the list goes on, and it seems almost endless going back to Columbine. And the details are different in each of these cases, right? So in this specific case, it does seem, based on what we know so far, that there were some clear and obvious warning signs of who this person was, and perhaps that he might have been someone who was a risk. You think of other cases, Stephen Paddock in Vegas, who we still don't really have any explanation of why he had done this, and it seems, based on what we know, that it might have been difficult for someone to have spotted him beforehand. You know, you've been kind of getting at it through this conversation, that there are a clear common denominator here. Certainly some element of mental illness, but also the access to these weapons, right? That we are the only country where this is routinely happening this way, where our children are being slaughtered as they sit in their high schools and their elementary schools, where we know that our Valentine's Day might be interrupted in the middle of the afternoon as cell phone video burst into our phones of children and their hands trembling as they hear gunshots in their high school hallways, right? This is something that, you know, we run the risk of becoming desensitized to, but frankly that we're all traumatized by, that we've been going through decades of this, that every few months we know we're going to be confronted with this trauma and with this terror, that frankly a lot of our brothers and sisters across the world do not have to worry about walking into a church, walking into a synagogue or a mosque or a high school or an elementary school and being gunned down this way.
17.
With all that being said, man, I just want to just send my condolences out to them families, man. Everybody that lost a child, a loved one in this situation, man. I just want to I'm going to keep y'all family in my prayers, man. And I pray that God cover y'all, give y'all the answers you're looking for, and give y'all peace through this time, man. And give y'all a stable heart, you know. And I'm just going to continue to pray that the ones that got evil in their heart, that they turn away from it. You know that I try to hold strong and keep reminding myself that the Bible says there's a season for everything. There's a time and a season for everything. And I know the Bible been speaking for years that the good gonna outweigh the bad gonna outweigh the good. But I feel like we're living in a time now where the bad is really outweighing the good. I mean, that's just how I feel. Observing what I see around my city every day and what I see on the news and what I see what's going on in the world, we are to that point where the bad is outweighing the good. You know what I mean? And we need to change it back to the good outweighing the bad. They said the Bible said the light will always prevail against the darkness. Well, that light need to come on and prevail against all this darkness, because it's too much darkness in America right now. It's too much darkness, man. This is a constant happening situation. The guns law need to get stricter. The security on these schools need to get stricter. The security with these social media sites need to get stricter. Where any little thing that might be a suspect or something that leads to something bad need to be detected and reported to the proper people to start an investigation right away. In this video, they were talking about a post he made 2 years ago. A post 2 years ago that he made on social media, on Instagram. That's crazy, man. And yet all they can say is somebody in the public, somebody on his social media account should have spoke out. And what that would have done, that probably would have did nothing. That probably would have led to a bunch of loopholes too. You know what I'm saying? And spoke out, and then what? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's so much. I feel like this is a crazy situation. I'm just really lost for words on, man. It's like this. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's a crazy situation. I just say I'm gonna keep the families in my prayers. All the students that were killed, I just keep in my prayers, and I pray that everybody that go to that school, that they come around in time, that they be able to deal with this and cope with this and move on from this in time. You know, and that's a pretty messed up situation. 17 people killed in a school shooting from about a 19-year-old. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. I just keep America in my prayers, man. Keep America in your prayers by all means necessary.